Hi, it's Peter. Hope you're keeping well. It's the 18th of June today. It's about 23 degrees, so I think summer's finally arrived. The grass up in the field has certainly grown now. I'll just give you a sort of a quick update. And I did get through the winter with 6 colonies, including 3 nukes, which I sold. And I was actually going to try and keep my numbers down this year, but it seems to have gone the other way. This is one of my overwintered colonies. I did actually take a couple of splits from this one, April, because they were sort of producing some queen cells. This nuke box, take the top off there, I've got it in a Payne's poly. I did add an extension box, but there's not much activity in there yet. But yeah, this is a 6 frame Payne's poly. Just take this excluder off. These bees are doing nicely. This WBC hive, which I sort of, my neighbour was actually going to chuck it in the skip, and so I've patched this one up. And another neighbour had a swarm, so I've put the swarm in the WBC, and that seems to be doing quite well. Just show you inside this WBC. This top super, I actually made the super myself. My carpentry skills aren't that good, and it's actually a bit too big, that one. I'll just take off this top board. So there's only a few bees in the top super. Next super down, so they're doing a nice job in this one. So this swarm's built up quite nicely actually. I'll just take one of these frames out. This is one of these super frames. Say the honey hasn't been capped yet. This was another split I made in April, and they're now in a full-sized box. They're doing nicely. I've got an underfloor entrance here. Another nuke I made up again. I put an extension box on this poly. The bees are starting to come up into the extension box. Total, I think I made about 7 nukes, and a couple of them didn't work out, so I had to add some frames with some more emergency cells. And touch wood, now I think I've got queens in all my nuke boxes. I've marked them all with blue. Oh, this one was actually a swarm of bees, so I thought that by splitting my colonies it would actually more or less prevent the swarming. That's the one I missed. Got these in a modified 8 frame Payne's poly, and they're covering about 4 or 5 frames at the moment, so I think this should be enough space for them this year. I'll just take a frame out and have a look. It does look like I had a super frame in here when I put the swarm in, which isn't ideal, but they've sort of drawn some comb down the bottom, so I think I'll have to replace this one at some stage with a full-sized brood frame. This was an overwinter colony, and I actually took a split from this one in April and left a queen cell in here. I have checked this one, and there is actually now a major queen in here. It'll take a little while to build up though. And another split which I've got just in a single Payne's. Yeah, these bees are covering They're almost covering all the frames. So I think I'm going to have to get another extension box to go on top of here, otherwise they're going to run out of space. I'll just take a frame out and see how they're getting on. Quite happy with these. Yeah, I know a lot of people say trying to raise your own queens results in scrub queens, but touchwood, my ones seem to be alright so far. Obviously time will tell, but the queens are laying and they're sort of fairly calm bees. So if things don't work out, I can always buy in a few mated queens, but I think it's nice to experiment and just see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to overwinter some of these nukes and perhaps sell them in the spring. So there's another nuke which I've now got in a full-sized box. Seems to be doing nicely. Again, I think they're going to need some more space soon. This is a BS Honeybees poly nuke, again, which has got a split inside. This is a Payne's poly. Nice lot of bees here. Again, this nuke I made up. I think it was beginning of May I made this one up. Again, I've got an extension box on here. The bees are starting to go into the extension box, and this is the main box. Just take this excluder off. These ones are doing nicely as well. And I modified this Payne's poly so it takes 8 brood frames. And the last colony is an overwintered colony. A lot of bees here, very active today. And I've got 4 supers on this. See, unfortunately my equipment's getting a bit old and there are some gaps between the supers, hence the gaffer tape. This is just the top super, and the bees are bringing a lot of nectar, but it's not capped yet, so I think I'm going to have to leave this for until next month or so. Yeah, so that brings me up to 12 colonies, which is a bit too much for me, so I'll possibly amalgamate some together in the autumn, and then assuming the nukes get through the winter and are quite healthy in the spring, I'll possibly sell a couple. Anyway, nice talking to you all, hope you're doing well, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for viewing, thanks for subscribing. All the best now, bye bye.